The night pressed down on the valley like a held breath. Dust hung in the air, lit silver by a thin moon that slid in and out of torn clouds. The SEAL platoon moved low and slow through broken stone and scrub, boots finding ground by memory more than sight. Radios whispered, then fell quiet again. They were already late, already exposed, already feeling the way a mission turns when the enemy seems to know your shape before you do. The first shot cracked from the ridgeline to the east. Clean, flat, not the wild pop of an AK or the rolling chatter of a machine gun. It was a single report, sharp as a snapped twig, and it ended with a man collapsing behind a rusted truck 200 meters away. The platoon froze, eyes lifted, fingers tightened. Someone hissed a curse. Another shot came, then another, spaced like a metronome. Each one found a target. Each one dropped an enemy without drama, without spray, without warning. The SEALs didn't know where it was coming from, only that it was precise and it was helping them. "Who's firing that?" The platoon leader whispered into the radio, careful to keep his voice flat. Silence answered him for a beat too long. Then a different voice cut in, breathless and disbelieving. "Sir, thermal shows a single shooter. Small frame, East Ridge. Looks like, hell, it looks like a kid." The platoon leader swallowed. "Confirm." They confirmed. The shooter was tucked into a crease of rock above the valley, body aligned with the slope, rifle steadied on a folded jacket. The heat signature was unmistakably smaller than the men around her. The scope feed flickered, and for a half-second the camera caught a profile. Dark hair pulled tight, jaw set, eyes locked downrange with the stillness of someone who had learned not to shake. "Radio again," the platoon leader said. "Ask who she is." They tried. Static answered. The girl on the ridge did not respond. She did not need to. Another enemy rose to run, and another single shot dropped him where he stood. The platoon moved. They flowed through the gap the girl was cutting, sliding from cover to cover, doing what they did best when the world narrowed to angles and timing. Every time an enemy tried to flank, a shot cut him down. Every time a head lifted to shout, it fell back silent. The valley, moments ago a trap, turned into a corridor. By the time the last contact broke and ran, the ridge fell quiet. The SEALs secured the area, hearts still hammering, eyes still searching the shadows for a shooter they had not planned for. The platoon leader keyed his radio again. "East Ridge shooter, this is friendly. Identify." A pause, then a soft click, and a voice came through, young but steady. "Name's Lena. I'm not with anyone. I saw you were pinned." The platoon leader closed his eyes for a second. "Lena, how old are you?" Another pause, shorter this time. 17. The word hung there, heavier than the rifle reports. 17. A number that did not belong in this valley, behind a scope, deciding life and death one breath at a time. They met her at the base of the ridge. She slid down the rocks with practiced ease, rifle slung, movements economical. Up close, she looked even younger, face dust-streaked, knuckles scraped raw. The rifle was old but well cared for, the bolt polished smooth by use. The scope was taped, the stock scarred. This was not a toy. This was a tool she knew intimately. "Why?" the platoon leader asked, keeping his tone gentle. She shrugged, eyes never quite meeting his. "They came to our village last year. Took my brother. My father taught me to shoot before he died. I practice every day." The medic glanced at the leader, then at Lena, then back again. There was 1,000 regulations screaming in their heads, 1,000 reasons this should not be happening. And yet it had, and the valley was quiet because of her. They could not take her with them. They could not leave her without saying something. The platoon leader reached into his pocket and pulled out a patch, the trident worn and frayed. He pressed it into her hand. "You saved lives tonight," he said. "That matters. But this isn't a road I want you walking alone." She closed her fingers around the patch like it might disappear. "I know," she said. "I don't plan to." They left before dawn, melting back into the hills, radios whispering again. Lena climbed back to her perch and watched the light come up, watched the valley return to what it had been before, men and guns and choices. She packed her rifle and went home. Weeks passed. The mission became a story told in low voices, a strange footnote in a career full of strange days. The platoon leader filed his report carefully, choosing words like stepping stones. Somewhere in the system, a question mark lingered. Then the shooting started again. This time it was closer to Lena's village. This time it was louder, sloppier, cruel. A different group, different flags, same hunger. Lena did not wait. She took her rifle and her scope and the lessons her father had given her, and she moved to the high ground like water finds a channel. She did not fire fast. She fired true, one shot at a time, like she had that first night. She watched patterns, waited for the pause between breaths, chose moments that would break the flow. When the men panicked and ran, she let them. When they tried to circle, she stopped them. By dawn, they were gone. The village elders argued. Some praised her, some feared her. Lena listened and said little. She was tired in a way sleep could not fix. A month later, a helicopter beat the air above the ridge. Lena lay still, rifle hidden, watching. The bird settled in a cloud of dust, and men stepped out with their hands open. One of them wore a familiar patch. The platoon leader walked up the slope alone. "We're not here to fight," he said, loud enough for her to hear. "We're here to talk." She revealed herself slowly, hands visible, heart pounding. He smiled, relief softening his eyes. "You're hard to find," he said. They talked in the shade of a rock. He told her about programs, about options that did not end with a grave or a cell. About training that could turn instinct into discipline, anger into purpose. He did not promise safety. He did not lie. He told her the truth as he knew it. "I don't want to be a symbol," Lena said. "I just want my people safe." "Then learn everything you can," he replied. "So you don't have to keep doing this alone." She thought of her brother. Of her father's hands on the rifle stock. Of the valley at night. She nodded once. Years later, another valley, another night. A different team moved under a different moon. This time, the shooter on the ridge was not a mystery. Her call sign was known. Her age was not a question. Her calm voice on the radio threaded the team through fire like a needle through cloth. "Targets down," she said, after the last shot. "Path is clear." The team leader grinned despite himself. "Copy that. You make it look easy." "It's not," she replied. "It's just practiced." When the mission ended and the adrenaline faded, Lena sat on a rock and breathed, letting the world widen again. She thought of the night she had first fired for strangers, of the disbelief in their voices. She thought of how small moments could bend lives. If you're listening to this story and it pulled you in, if you felt the tension and the choices and the cost, remember there are many untold stories like Lena's. For more powerful, realistic stories of courage and consequence, take a moment to subscribe to the channel Her World Stories. Your support helps keep these voices alive. The helicopter lifted, the valley exhaled, and Lena watched the dust settle, one shot at a time fading into memory.